I'll be honest, signing clients for your agency shouldn't be difficult, right? You might be there sending outreach messages, taking sales calls, maybe even posting content as well, but you're still stuck, right? You're still not making the progress that you want to make. And I'll be honest, I was in the exact same situation. And the worst part is you might be working all day, right? 8, 10, 12 hours a day. You're putting the work in, but nothing's happening. You're not actually getting a return. And you might not know exactly what actions to take to achieve the outcome. So what I've done is after I've signed around 250 agency clients, after I've coached near 2,000-3,000 agencies in programs like Eman Gadget's, Charlie Morgan's, what I'm going to do is I'm going to distill the 7 lessons that I've learned that, I mean, you can avoid spending 10 years trying to figure this out and condense it down to ideally around 10 minutes so you can just speed up your progress and grow the agency. So the first lesson is that if you have no pipeline, no bookings, you have no growth. Right? I remember a time where I was running the agency, and oh man, I worked 8 hours straight. It was one of the best, most productive days ever. I had the headphones on, I was focused, I got things done, and my website was finished. Right? And at the end of the day, I mean, I was speaking to one of my friends, I was like, this is the best day ever. He was like, how many clients did you sign? I was like, I haven't started outreach. He's like, I mean, why did you say it was a good day? I was like, I finished my website. And he was like, okay, but like, what does that do for you? And then I realized, I was like, okay, I looked at my calendar, blank space, blank space, blank space everywhere. And then I realized, okay, there's a million things you could do in the business, but if you don't have bookings, I mean, nothing's happening. You're not signing clients. So honestly, before we get into the other lessons, I would honestly just take out your phone, look at your calendar and think, okay, how many sales calls do I have booked for next week? If it's anything less than 3 to 5 calls a day, there's a lot more to go. Right? So just keep that in mind as we're going through this. Now, the second lesson is that clarity signs clients. I was actually speaking to a coaching client the other day, and they were in the marketing/branding space. Now, that space is notorious for having a very like fluffy, ambiguous type of offer. They'll be like, we will change your digital presence. I'm like, what? What does that even mean? Like, how do you change my presence? So because of that, they came to me, they were like, okay, Ethan, how can I make this tangible? How can I make this clear? And we had a conversation, we went back and forth, and what I told them was, look, after we've done this for like 50 other branding agencies, what we found to work best is whatever you're measuring, that becomes the outcome. So I asked them, okay, look at your best client and just think like, what were the returns that they got? And I mean, they work with Nestle, right? $1 billion company. I was like, okay, what did you guys measure? They were like, website growth or like new people on it. We also measured new sales, new revenue. And what we found is that working with this agency in the time period, the 90 days, they added an extra 3.9 billion to the business. So what we did was, instead of saying, we're going to transform your digital presence or all of the fluffy terms like that, we just, in our new messaging, we're like, cool. So we just reached out to other people like Nestle and we're like, hey, if you're open to adding an extra 3.9 billion, this is what we did for them. I mean, do you want the same? That became the messaging. So the new messaging, instead of all the ambiguous things, it became growing the business, right? Having a specific number for doing that, but also the other things that came with it, right? We're going to transform your website. We're going to make it more appealing to new customers. We're going to increase the amount of people that get on the website and they click. All these details, we just made it clear. So if you're in a space now or you have an offer now that doesn't seem very clear, at least it doesn't have a number attached, the first thing that you could do to make it more appealing is just write down what are the expected outcomes of what you do, and that becomes your offer. And honestly, if you can just do that, you're ahead of 99% of agencies and you will get results quicker than anyone else. Now, lesson number 3 is that energy beats words. Now, when I was starting out, I was terrible at sales. Like I was absolutely horrible. And what this looked like is, I mean, the day that I was meant to have a call scheduled, I booked my first meeting. From the minute I woke up, I was anxious. I was like, oh man, I don't want to take this call. I don't want to take this call. I hope he cancels. I hope he cancels. 5 minutes before the call, I was sitting there. I was like, I hope this guy just doesn't show up to the meeting, right? Even though I knew that I needed to make money, I needed to sign the client, I just didn't want to take the call because I was so anxious. I was so bad at it. And what happened was I had a script, I had a pitch, I had everything there, but I was just so nervous. So when I was on the call, it was excruciating. And what it looked like is I would have my script open. I would be reading the questions. I'd be like, okay, so what made you want to take the call? And I would just like ask him. And then he'd answer. I'd be like, okay, next question. What are your goals in 12 months? And I would just go through the script. And by the time I gave the pitch, he was like, look, like, we're not doing this. Like, this isn't going to work. I just felt terrible. So the problem there was that I had the words, but I didn't have the conviction. Now, there was another time when I was talking to a client, and this is one of those clients who, they just have that energy. Like, they're just happy about absolutely everything. Like, they'll just wake up and be like, man, I got out of bed. This is the best day ever. I'm going to crush it. Like, I watched one of his call recordings. He didn't have a sales script. He didn't have a pitch. He didn't have anything, but he just had raw conviction. He was just, I don't know what it is. But whatever that was, the conviction that made him have that energy, he sold the client on a 2K month retainer with no prior case studies. And the lesson from this is that the words on a sales call, the words when you're sending a voice note, the words when you're speaking to a prospect or a client, that's not the most important thing. It's how you present it. So the most tangible action item that you can take from this is that when you're on the sales calls, when you're giving your pitch especially, think how much energy is behind what I'm saying. Honestly, you should be smiling when you pitch. But when I'm saying a pitch to a prospect, I'm literally smiling, I'm making jokes, I'm laughing while I'm doing it. And because of that, the prospect, they're more bought in, they're more connected as I'm going through it. So lesson number 4 is that momentum closes deals. So there was a time where I was on a sales call, right? I was trying to handle the objection. The guy said no, but I need to think about it. I was like, cool, it's perfectly fine. Like, how long do you need? And he was like, look, just give me 2 hours and I promise I will come back and we're gonna get started. I was like, look, I've heard this a million times. I just wanna make sure after these 2 hours, we're gonna get on a call. When we get on this call, we are gonna get you started. Is that right? He's like, yes, 100%. I'm so bought in. This is great. I love this. I got off the call. I was celebrating. I was excited. I was like, I'm the man. I closed this deal. I'm so excited. Waited 2 hours. I'm excited to get on the call. I jump on the call. No one shows up. 2 minutes later, no one shows up. 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 10 minutes, no one shows up. I'm messaging the guy. I'm like, hey, I just want to check. I mean, is there an issue? Do you have the Zoom link? I hear nothing, right? I messaged him again an hour later. Hey, just want to check. Are we still good? Nothing. And what happened was, over those 2 hours of him saying he wants to do this, he didn't want to get started. All the conviction that he had on the call, it just dropped. I was like, how is this even possible? I get a reply 12 hours later. He was like, yeah, you know what? I thought about it. I don't think this is a thing for me. In my head, I'm like, what? Like, what even just happened? And what I realized was you need to close deals quickly. You need to strike while they're actually convicted. So there was another situation, same thing. Now I knew from my mistakes. I was on the call. He was like, look, I want to get started. I just need to move some money around. As soon as that's done, we're going to make this happen. I'm like, okay, I've heard this before. He was like, no, I literally do not have the, he showed me his bank account, right? He's like, I literally do not have the money. I need to move from this one to this one. I was like, okay, it makes sense, but I don't want this to fall through. This is what I was thinking. So what I did was, I was like, look, how long in minutes is this going to take? It's like, I don't know, probably like 4 minutes. And this is after he was saying, yeah, just give me 3 days and I'll get the money. I was like, okay, in minutes, how long is this going to take? It's like, I don't know, it should take like 4 minutes. Like, who knows? So I was like, you know what? It's perfectly fine. I've got no calls after that. I actually had a call, but I just canceled it because I wanted to get this one closed. I was like, I'm just going to wait here, call the bank, sort everything out, and then we'll be good. He's like, okay. I mean, that sounds weird. 4 minutes go by. He's still trying to do this. 20 minutes go by. He's still trying to do this. 50 minutes go by. He's still trying to do this. I'm just sitting on the call, working in the background. Like every 30 seconds, I'm just like looking to the other side of the screen, making sure he's still there. And I waited on this call with the prospect for 50 minutes while he went back and forth with the bank. Halfway through, he's like, don't you just want to like hop off? Like, I don't want to take your time. I'm like, no, it's fine. And because I did this, we got it closed on the spot. He signed up. He's one of our best clients. And the lesson from that is that if someone is wanting to sign, do not let time reduce the momentum or reduce the conviction. Now, lesson number 5, and this is a pretty simple one, is that follow-ups should be value, not reminders. Now, in the past, let's say when someone didn't want to book a call or I'm waiting on someone to, let's say, pay an invoice or something, what I used to do was I would say something very generic, very basic, like, hey, just checking in. Hey, is everything okay? Hey, just wanted to follow up. It's annoying, right? To be honest, this is a very simple one. So what you can do, immediate shift for you, is that instead of saying things like, hey, just checking in, hey, just following up, hey, just wanting to see how things are going. Just send value, right? So what I would do instead, let's say someone didn't buy on a sales call and they had a follow-up call coming up, but I just wanted to keep them warm. And I just wanted to see how things are going. I would just send a case study video. I would say, hey, this is how one of our clients, Jovan, went from 0 to 11,000 a month in 80 days. I mean, thought he was pretty similar to you. Would you be open to the same? Or have you seen this video? And because of that, you're re-sparking the conversation, right? If you ask, have you seen this? They'll be like, oh yeah, I saw it, it's a really good one. Now you can start the conversation. Now you can just steer it. It's like, hey, just want to make sure we're all good for Tuesday's call, right? I can walk through some more details on it there. Yeah, 100%, I'm looking forward to it. So very simple shift. Just think to yourself, are the follow-ups that I'm sending, are they valuable? And just switch it to that instantly. Now, lesson number 6 is that content at the start should be used for nurturing, not for lead generation. Now, it's a very simple distinction, but I constantly get asked this on coaching calls all the time. And what I mean by this is that at the start, the function of content is to help with the sales process. So what this looks like is, instead of creating videos that are like 7 habits for future millionaires when you're targeting chiropractors, all you want to focus on at the beginning is giving value to that niche to make outreach and sales easier. So for example, when I started and I had 73 subscribers, I had videos that was providing value on how to book meetings, right? How to close deals, how to grow the agency. And because of that, I would get people on sales calls who would say, wow, I see you don't have millions of subs, but this was super valuable. And because of this value, I want to sign up. So a very simple thing to focus on is, when you're on sales calls, ask yourself, okay, what are the desires that my prospects are saying they want? What are the pains that they're actually facing? And I'll give you some examples. What are the things holding them back? For example, we work with agencies. And most of the times after working with near 200, we found that the common things that they struggle with is booking more calls, signing more clients, systemizing delivery, scaling, removing themselves from day to day. And that's what I talk about, right? So when someone books a call, they check the channel, they go through the videos okay, he's actually done this. He's done this near 200 times, where he's got clients in all these industries. And because of that, they're more bought in. And because of that, the calls are easier. So instead of me trying to attract millions of subscribers from day one, just focus on doing the main thing, right? Getting the clients on. And then obviously, when you have hundreds of clients and you want to expand into different industries, all of that, you can make broader videos. But what we found best for us and for our clients specifically is just making it as specific as possible, even if it gets less views. Now, lesson number 7 is that one winning system beats having 10 to 20 different tactics. And what I mean by this is that, let's say, you have a email system where every 100 messages you send, you book 1 call, which honestly is nothing crazy. Instead of, once you have this, starting things like ads, starting things like LinkedIn, starting things like Instagram, what you can literally just do, and we've done this so many times, is that you can just get, let's say, 5 times the volume, 10 times the volume. We have clients in the program who send 7,000 emails a day, but they also book hundreds of calls per week. So because of this, instead of looking for all the different tactics, checking YouTube, seeing all these things, the easiest thing you can do is, if you have something working, just getting more of that, right? So getting something working on LinkedIn, getting something working on email, whatever it is. And the best part is, for our clients at least, we just give them what works, they get the results, and then if they want to scale up, if they want to add an extra 30, 50, 100K a month, then they can. They just have to do more of that thing. They're not left in this confusion of what should I do? What's the best method? They just focus on doing the right thing. So if you run an agency and you do want to scale up, you do just want what's working right now, just book a call using the link below. Or if you first want to see our entire philosophy for scaling agencies from 0 to 100, honestly, some of our clients scale to 300,000-400,000 a month. But if you want to see that philosophy in more detail, I'll also link our video on the fastest path to 100K a month in 2025.